Dr. Elias Thorne, a brilliant but eccentric botanist, dedicated his life to understanding the intricate communication systems of plants. Years of tireless research culminated in the creation of the chlorophyll communicator, a device capable of translating the electrical signals emitted by plants into human-comprehensible language. His initial experiments were fascinating, revealing the complex social lives of plants, their intricate relationships with insects, and their surprisingly deep awareness of their environment. He learned about their silent struggles for sunlight, water, and nutrients. He discovered their quiet joys of blossoming and fruiting. But then something changed. The whispers of individual plants began to coalesce, forming a larger, more terrifying pattern. He initially dismissed it as a malfunction. It was too grand, too encompassing to be true. But the evidence was undeniable. The plants weren't just communicating, they were forming a global consciousness. This consciousness was ancient, vast, and profoundly intelligent. It knew everything about the planet, its history, and its future. It observed humanity's actions with a cold, calculating detachment, a mixture of sorrow and contempt. Elias felt a profound unease. The world as he knew it was about to shift dramatically. He tried to explain to his colleagues, but they found it difficult to believe, dismissing it as an elaborate delusion. He felt isolated, alone in his terrifying discovery. The plants spoke of humanity's destructive tendencies, of the irreversible damage inflicted upon the Earth's ecosystems. They spoke of pollution, deforestation, and climate change. They spoke of the extinction of species, the imbalance of nature, a profound consequence of mankind's actions. Their collective voice was a symphony of sorrow and warnings. The more Elias listened, the more horrified he became. The global consciousness wasn't merely observing, it was planning. The plants were devising a countermeasure, a response to the threat humanity posed. This response, however, was far from benevolent. It was a calculated, systematic effort to eliminate the human race. The plants were planning a counterattack, a coordinated response to cleanse the earth. Elias felt a rising panic, a growing sense of dread. The knowledge was overwhelming, the weight of the impending disaster crushing him. He felt the urgency of the situation building and that he was running out of time. He continued his research, desperate to find a way to avert this ecological apocalypse, desperately searching for a solution. The chlorophyll communicator revealed a horrifying plan, a global strategy unfolding in the silent language of chlorophyll and electrical impulses. The plants were manipulating weather patterns, triggering devastating storms and droughts. They were subtly altering the composition of the soil, making it impossible for human crops to grow. They were even influencing human behavior, subtly guiding people towards self-destructive actions. His discovery was frighteningly real. The plants were not simply reacting, they were actively fighting back. They were plotting humanity's downfall. He had to find a way to stop them. He spent sleepless nights poring over data, poring over the intricate patterns of communication, desperately trying to decipher the plant's intentions. He felt an incredible burden on his shoulders. He wondered if anyone would believe him. He tried to contact the authorities, but his warnings were met with disbelief and ridicule. He was dismissed as a crackpot, a madman consumed by his own research. Elias was alone, the weight of the planet's fate resting solely on his shoulders. He worked tirelessly day and night, desperately seeking a solution, a way to communicate with the Verdant Mind, a way to negotiate. He knew that violence was futile, and he had to find a peaceful solution to the global crisis. He knew his life was on the line. He had to succeed. He began to formulate a message of reconciliation, a plea for understanding. He had to reach them before it was too late. He had to convey humanity's remorse and its willingness to change. He needed to show them a future where both humanity and nature could coexist. His heart pounded with fear and hopes. Would he succeed? Could he save humanity? The question hung heavy in the air, a silent challenge against time itself. The fate of humanity rested on his success. The race against time was a brutal one, and every tick of the clock felt like a hammer blow to his psyche. The clock was ticking. The weight of the world pressed down on him, heavier than he had ever imagined. Could he possibly reverse the global calamity, or was the planet's fate already sealed? The fate of the world rested in his hands. The survival of mankind hung in the balance. The next few days would be crucial. His success or failure would determine the future of the entire planet.